how and what of being a judge. And as Victoria promised, yeah, we've got 3 that go out around to everybody. Boom.
All right, I'll let you take one of those and pass it around.
Yeah, I'll just do
that one.
The first thing you need to know is the judge's eligibility form. And I think that's not, may not be going around in order, but we've got the ballots and we've got talking about the briefing. So I'll tell you about what the judge's eligibility form is. The judge's eligibility form is...
This is the judge's eligibility, if you want to look at, take a look
Perfect,
at that.
thank you. What the judge's eligibility form is a form that goes over your role as a judge, asking you to be non-biased, and that you're in good standing, that you have your 6 speeches, and you sign it at the bottom and you hand it back to your chief judge. Now, the chief judge is responsible for all the judges, but they don't make any judging. They don't judge the contest. They help make sure everything is fair with the judging, with the way the judges form their vote. With the ballots, we have different types of ballots. Because this time we have 2 contests. We have the international speech contest and we have table topic contests. You see those going around. Those are, they have different levels of judging within them. And there's a special way that we'll talk about how they get filled out. I'll get to that in a minute.
Keith, just real quick, so at the top of the ballot forms, they look the same, you guys, but they're not. So just look at the title.
Yeah.
Look at the title.
There's
There's
for
two separate ones.
One's for speech.
Exactly.
And this is the one that we're doing this time.
This contest round, yes.
Toastmasters International defines 5 possible contests that a district may choose to run. They can run any 4 of the 5, however, they must run the international speech contest. That's the only one a district is required to do. Our district has a long history of running the humorous speech and the evaluation, or the tall tales and the evaluation in the fall. And in the spring, they do the international and table topics. Those are the ways we're doing it. There is a slight question about how we'll be doing that going forward, as Toastmasters International has directed districts to no longer have a fall conference. There's still hope that we will be able to figure out a way to have fall contests without that fall conference to wrap it into. Therefore, don't give up on still having 4 contests a year. And even if not, there's always the possibility that Southern Division will still make some interesting things happen if there is an opportunity for that. This time around, international speech. International speech is the same qualification as being a judge. You have to have 6 speeches done to take part. Now, if anybody is 3 speeches away and they're wondering, can I get it done in time? We can make it happen. There are clubs who have speaker openings. You can do special outside the club speech opportunities. It can happen if that's what you want to do. You can also be in both contests, both to table topics and international speech. Question?
So for the speaker, that speech can't be number 6. You have to have 6 before the contest starts.
You should have 6 before the contest starts, but practicing your contest speech a few times and getting CC credit for it could be. Did I have another question over here? Yes, Alice?
What's the qualification for being a chief judge?
Qualification for being a chief judge technically is just having enough experience to be able to do it. It's having a good understanding. It would be great if you've already been a judge. However, there are people here who will be able to train you to make sure that you can cover it. Or you can shadow somebody doing it, and that way you get a feel for what they're doing, and then you can take it over at the next contest.
And do you get credit for that?
There is no specific written credit. However, the way the competent leader is written, there are credits for doing work as a club contest chair. Therefore, if you're doing an area contest and you're doing that work, it falls in line that you're doing that as a super club in a way, when you think about it. An area is a collection of clubs. Therefore, people like Victoria is more than willing to say, come sign up, do this role, and I'm going to give you credit and you're competent leader. And
absolutely.
Victoria,
that's what I wanted to hear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like Alice just volunteered. I mean, we could sign Alice up.
Okay.
Being a chief judge is not.
Alice,
Yeah.
if Alice were to volunteer, I would put her as chief judge, and then I would just be like right next to her telling her how to do it, because I want her to get that credit and her to get that knowledge. And we want everybody to think of that. I've never done it, it doesn't matter. We're here to help you guys, because then you're gonna take that skill and everything you learned and create guidelines. That's what we're kind of doing this whole entire year, is trying to create some guidelines for different roles to help the next person.
What do you mean, if she was to volunteer? Did you tell her she had already volunteered?
I can't, I like
That's what
Alice,
you
so I
have to
can't say that.
So voluntold.
I have a question here from Shell.
Thank you, Keith. My radio voice. Can I be a judge, like say in the Toastmasters contest, and speak in the international contest, or vice versa? Can I do a contest and judge in a contest?
You cannot, you can't even do it at a level. If you were to judge at an area contest and you had already won a different area and you're about to go up to division, you've now disqualified yourself from being able to go to division by having judged in any level of international speech above the club level.
Look.
Does everybody understand why?
Not really.
Can I judge
Okay.
in the international contest, but speak in the table topics? Are you saying no?
In theory, you can. However, the way we always organize our area and division and district contest is the same judges, well, not district, but area and division, we always have the same judges sit through both contests instead of trying to swap out. So in theory, it would be possible for you to judge in
But now it's
international
not-
speech
it's
and
not
be in
really-
table topics, but we don't usually make that happen. We'd have to be
Diane
very
says that
different.
she didn't understand that. Why? Can
Yes,
you
please.
just explain?
At our club, we're splitting out
If
two
you don't-
contests. We're gonna have table topics one week
Mhm.
and speech the next week, so we could do it.
Okay, for
Right.
club level.
Club level.
Club level, if you run it as an official contest, you have to follow the manual to the T, is what international tells us. Obviously, you can't always get as many judges as you can, but within your club, you're going to have other members judging members. However, what I like to do is that they also say you can select whatever methodology you want to make a contest. Deb?
Yes, there's one more step though. If they don't win, you can explain that one.
Yeah, I'll get to
then.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, thanks. With
If you're a loser.
I know.
So, well, it just gives you an opportunity to
It's not necessarily loser. Let's talk this all the way through. You can, the manual says you can have any sort of selection process if you don't run it as an official contest. You can have a nomination, you can have trial contests, you can have mock contests. I like the idea of calling it a trial contest. That way you go through the steps. However, instead of worrying about limiting people, you're more inclusive. Give everybody in the club the forum to judge. Don't worry about 6 speeches. Don't worry about whether or not they're a contestant in. Give everybody an exposure to that sheet. Have everybody fill it out. Use that as your selection guideline. Let's say you have 4 people in your club who are doing table topics. Person 1 did really fantastic, but they went 1 second over. If you run it as an official contest, they can no longer take part. The other 3 people said, oh, you know what, I can't make that date to the area contest. That first person is now officially disqualified, even though they would be good enough to go on, and have already learned about making sure not to go 1 second over. It's happened. Therefore, having a nomination process allows you to say, here are our 2 highest scorers. We're going to send those people along, because in our division, all of our areas are small enough that we're allowed to send 2 people for each contest. So that means 4 people from the club can be going on, 2 for table topics, 2 for international speech. Your club, your officers, your contest chair can be in charge of that nomination and decide who is representing, who wants to represent, who qualified the highest of those who are now still able to go on. And nobody is disqualified for time, and nobody is disqualified for not even being able to make the meeting. If you have only 1 person going, another person said, darn, I really, really wanted to do an international speech. I was planning, my car had a flat, I couldn't make the meeting. Wouldn't it be nice if I could still take part? Nomination? Absolutely. You can still say that they can go. You have to report that to the contest chair, which is usually the area directors involved in that, or they've got a contest chair that they're working with. Let them know who is going to represent your club. You can even have 3 people show up, and if for some reason 3 people go, and for some reason 1 person doesn't show up, that 3rd place person now steps in.
But okay, I know this sounds, I'm not awake yet, so.
Okay.
So Diane, let me, I know what she's gonna say. So, Shell wins
Yeah.
her area contest.
Uh-huh.
She can't judge in another area because then she could possibly judge the person that's gonna be the best competition against her.
Thank you.
So that's why she cannot be a judge if she's won an area contest.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be harder for her to be biased. Not saying that Shell
Non-biased,
would.
yeah.
Non-biased, excuse me.
Oh,
So that's
totally,
why, that's what we're saying. And I know you were like, what? So that's why you can't do
Well, no,
so.
not-
So as a chief judge or somebody that leads the entire division, we look for the people that did not place